Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I hope that this video finds you well at the exact moment that you see it and even press play. For many of you, I know that you may already know me, but for those that do not, my name is Robin Webster, and I am a licensed professional counselor. I've been in the field for 16 years. I am also an ordained minister, as well as the author of From Glory to Glory, Achieving Holiness in the Season of Singleness and Marriage. I'm back. And I'm also a motivational speaker. And so I am truly, truly passionate about people having healthy relationships, as I've said before, with themselves, after God, of course, as well as healthy relationships with those that are closest to them. In particular, what I am talking about, or what I have been talking about really, has been in relationships. And so I know that everyone will not go to therapy. That's one thing that I do know. I wish everyone would, but because I know that they won't, I said, you know what? Let me pour, or rather input what the Holy Spirit put in me to give to other people so that no matter if they go to therapy or not, they will still be able to have valuable information. So that is actually another reason for me writing this book. And so today, I really want to talk with you guys about another section of my book that is entitled Face Your Issues. Single issues become marital issues. And so before I go into this, I want to always make sure that I am able to relate, or rather, my audience is able to relate to the things that I discuss. And so I want to be able to connect with my single audience as well as my marital audience. So as I go deeper into this, I think you'll see a little bit about my reasons for choosing this particular topic. So I'll just kind of start. Face your issues. Single issues become marital issues. It is very important to address the issues or baggage that you have as a single before entering marriage. This is something that one too many couples gloss over in order to run into the fantasy and romanticism of marriage. One thing is for sure, if you gloss over the issues that you have, they will definitely resurface after the honeymoon. I've come to recognize that marital issues are really single issues that were not appropriately, or if at all, addressed. Whatever issue we have in our unmarried state that we do not address and overcome will unfortunately be magnified in our marriage. It is our marriage that will take the hardest hit. In other words, any giant that you do not slay while single will become a giant that you and your spouse will have to slay in your marriage. If you both do not have the tools to slay the giants that come to challenge you, your marriage will take the hardest hit. I'm going to say that again. Marital issues are really single issues that were never addressed, or even in many cases, some people really didn't even know that it was an issue because they became so accustomed to behaving a certain way. But the thing about marriage is that it really is a mirror. However, I want to encourage my listeners, those who are single, first, I'm going to address the singles, to not gloss over those things that you know you grapple with because it showed up in multiple relationships, even in the relationship that you have with yourself, whether it is personal insecurities, and this is not to put anyone on the spot or even make someone feel ashamed. Whatever we don't address will greatly manifest. So, whether it's trust issues, personal insecurities, it can be issues with how you manage money. Whatever your issue is as a single, please address it, because if it's not addressed, it will show up in a greater way as a huge giant in your marriage. And for those that are married, when you recognize those issues that you have in your marriage, please don't gloss over it. Because whatever you gloss over, or rather put a blind eye over, you actually begin to feed. Because if it is not exterminated or extinguished, it's going to be fed. You're going to continue with the same behaviors. And so I want to encourage everyone to really look at the things that are going on as a single and even in relationship. So, of course, you guys know that I am a counselor and I work with, individuals and couples. And so when it comes to my couples, they're all different. However, there are certain ones or certain things that are pretty much kind of the same. I have some who come in for premarital counseling because they're like, we're really thinking about, getting married, but we really want to work through some things and make sure that we're really ready, and they're tapping into, inviting God into everything. And they also want the natural connected to the spiritual support and help to navigate the uncharted waters, just to make sure that they have the essential tools, or as many as possible, because we're going to always be building, right? And then there are those who are already married or engaged to be married, where they see that there's smoke, there's some things that's going on, and they say, let's address this because we don't want this to turn into a fire. And then there are some who see the fire, they recognize that there's a fire and it's popping up in different areas, and they're like, let's get this help. Now, I will tell you that it can be a little bit more challenging when the fire is already there, but there's still hope, right? And then there are the ones that come and the entire house is ablaze because they've overlooked the little things. And the word tells us that it's the small fox that spoils the vine. So they'll overlook all the little things. And then those little things become big things. And then because they then, start to attack the person and not the issue, then here comes the fire. And so what I want to encourage people to do is, when you see the smoke, seek the help. Now, even if I'm happening to talk to someone where there's already a big fire, this does not mean that all hope is gone, because I've also worked with people who were really just about to sign their names on the dotted line to finalize the marriage and just call it quits. But because they still genuinely wanted their union, they were willing to do the work. And the work was hard, because it is hard. It is hard, especially when we have allowed the entire house to be set ablaze. However, when two people come together and they genuinely want to do the work, and they make the genuine decision to no longer point the finger at their spouse, but to also acknowledge the part that they have played and diligently do what needs to be done to save the union, with inviting God in and learning to be selfless and learning that they have to be responsible for their own behaviors and actions, and recognize the part that they play in building the marriage opposed to tearing it down. When people recognize that the longevity and the life of their marriage is in their hands after God, because we can't expect God to do everything. There's a part that we have to play. But when people recognize that they're willing to do the work, and allowing themselves to die to self, that is when I have witnessed their union becoming alive in God. But we're going to get back to the fact of single issues, or rather marital issues, are really single issues that were never addressed. So I want to encourage you in doing your due diligence in addressing whatever the concern may be, whatever it may be. Don't turn a blind eye to it. Your marriage, your future marriage, is depending on you addressing it. Don't turn a blind eye to it. Your marriage is depending on you to do the work so that not only will you have a marriage that is one that you can be proud of, but it's one that your children can thrive by being a product of it. Marital issues are really just single issues that were never addressed. So for my singles, again, do the work. You're worth it. You are worth your own investment. Your marriage in the future is worth your investment. The children that you will birth into this earth are worth your investment. And the life that you will lead in the future with your spouse is worth the investment. My married people, my married folk, I love y'all too. I love everybody. I do. Your union is worth the investment. So do it. Invest it, and you'll be so happy that you did. Blessings to you. Bye-bye.